Hey there, Jason with AMI Detail. I've got an interesting project this morning, so let's see how this goes. Got from a worldwide comparison here of pre-wash. Got Chem-X from the US at Stars and Stripes. So basically foaming that on with stars, foam stripes right on top of that, and then do a rinse off, after letting that dwell. So the next one up is Garage Therapy, their Decon shampoo, and that one's from the UK. So that's my first time using that one. And then with Primus 2.0 is from Labocosmetica, Italian company. And that one, again, will, on this first side of the vehicle, we're going to go ahead and just foam each of these on and see how it goes. And then with the last one on the lineup here is from Korea. That's Luminus, and that's their L-Prewash. So all these are basically like an alkaline. Chem-X does do, it's alkaline followed by an acid, acidic. That shock is kind of what does that. So a little bit different system than these, but again, a great way to compare these different types of pre-wash. On the first side, I'll just do the foam on each one, let it dwell, we'll rinse that off and do a comparison. Turn the vehicle around, on the other side, I plan on doing, Chem-X is really nothing different to do, so we'll just do that same way. But with like a Garage Therapy, I've got a double tap type method, so I've got a spray bottle mixed to kind of do a pre-spray followed with foam on top of that. Same way with the Primus 2.0. They got a double tap that they reference on their site as well. And then same way with pre-wash, the L-Prewash from Luminus. Same thing. We'll do a double tap with all three of those, and that will have a good comparison on what, if that brings anything else to the table versus just doing the foam method. Okay, let's get started. So again, here's the lineup. And the nice part is to easily switch between, and do this efficiently. Going with the Talking with Cars foam cannon. And the neat part in that one is with that smaller inner thread. I've got each of these already pre-mixed into these different bottles, so I can easily just switch from one to the next by mounting it on that thread. So I'll get some clear water to rinse it each time, and then that way it's all ready to go for the next one. So again, Stars and Stripes works great. You can easily foam one, unscrew it, screw the other one on, keep going. And again, that way we can efficiently get all of these applied on the panel and try to get the dwell time somewhat similar to each other. So once we get rolling, I'm really probably not gonna, I'm gonna be focused on just swapping out and getting each one applied. As far as the vehicle, you can see it's got, we've got some pretty decent road film that we're dealing with here. So that way we can get an idea of what it looks like before. Wheels and tires. Again, I'm planning on doing Chem-X on this front part, so expect it'll do pretty good on there, but really wheels and tires aren't exactly the focus here because most of these are just going to be on painted surfaces here. So we'll plan on this second section here with Garage Therapy, and then Labocosmetica. We'll get this next door panel, and then the last section here will be for Luminus. Again, we'll maybe we can try kind of half and half with the wheel and tire. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, again, you can see the contamination here, so you can get an idea of again, getting what it looks like before, and we'll see how each one of these does with as a Decon shampoo. Okay, all set, ready? Wish me luck. Again, start with the 4-to-1 mix, Chem-X Stars and Stripes. So okay, got that loaded. Then immediately swap over to do a quick rinse here. We're going to put stripes on there. Again, it just mounts right to that bottle. Again, rinse that off. Now we got Garage Therapy, their Decon shampoo, and I went with the strongest mix, which was an 8-to-1. They recommend 50 milliliters and 400. Next up is Labocosmetica Primus 2.0, and they had both a summer or winter mix, and I went with the strongest, the 5-to-1. Yeah, that worked out good. Caught half the tire there. And do a rinse. And last up is Luminus L-Prewash, and that is at a 10-to-1 mix. Okay, successfully got everything foamed on there. It's rinsed out, ready for the next one. Again, really digging the automatic. A lot of people are like, oh, you pop it off, it goes flying. No, just grab it, use your thumb. Just give it a nice little click. It's all ready to go. Grab your nozzle. Ready to go. Except I am just using a single, so I'm gonna swap nozzles back to, let me grab the other nozzle here. Just the factory Ryobi nozzle. And we're gonna go with the 25-degree. Most of the time, rinse off, I'm using a 40, but again, with this type of pre-wash, the 25 is gonna focus it a little better, especially for the Chem-X. That's one of the main things. You're basically using the water pressure as more or less agitation. So, but hey, we're letting everything dwell here. Again, just to let the camera run, so that way that'll be my timer basically. There wasn't a huge difference going down the side of it there, so hopefully this will all work out pretty good in the end. But you can definitely have an advantage doing this indoors. So again, trying to, you have to factor that in on your own conditions. Guess sometimes it's a blessing and a curse because I don't have a drain. So it really sucks sometimes with, get too much water in here and it's just not fun to deal with. But just do the squeegee method. Figure if it's good enough for DIY detail guys, I can do it too. So. But yeah, as far as dwell time, I mean, see Chem-X is still, definitely, good time to rinse off, but we'll just let it dwell some more here as we look at these other ones. Definitely just looking at the contamination. Here, let me just pull you in closer. We'll give you something to look at while we let that dwell. So check this out. Here's what it's looking like as far as the paint. And the cool part on Chem-X is the tire stuff. So check out that dirty foam. I mean, it's just pulling that stuff off there. So again, we can look at each one of these. So here's the garage therapy Decon. Let's kind of see what it's pulling down. And as far as that's pretty interesting how pulled down the glass there, and this one's still just kind of stuck on that part of the glass. I don't know what's different there, but this would be the Labocosmetica. You can see how it's got, again, pulling everything down there and taking a look at the foam. Again, what was pulled off the, again, shot for half the tire there with Labo, and then the back half here with Luminus. So again, seeing what all is being pulled off the panels here. And you can see Luminus is starting to kind of dry, so I'd say we're at a good point to do a rinse off. So let me put you back on the stand. Thank you so much for your cooperation. You guys are awesome to work with. Okay. And I do, just as they recommend, bottom to top. The small section is not that big of a deal, but. Okay, here's garage therapies. Then Labocosmetica. And finally, Luminus. Okay. I think that went pretty smooth, not too bad. So again, let me come in closer here. You can see a nice mix of all these different colors in the foam. So definitely they all are doing an awesome job at pulling that down for a pre-wash. Again, the goal would be to have this, touch the vehicle as least as possible in getting it ready for a contact wash. So let's go ahead and start at the front again. Go with what Chem-X. So I'll go ahead and grab a dryer, and we will blow dry some of this and get it kind of, so you can kind of see what it looks like as far as the comparison after, so you can see what the before and afters here. So again, went with Garage Therapy on this panel. Labocosmetica, the back door, and Luminus here. Did a half and half on the tire and wheel, and the L-Prewash. Okay, let me blow dry it and we'll see how it looks. Again, we'll go in close, see how each section did. So the heaviest contamination was kind of towards the front here. That looks pretty good. Getting closer on the paint here. I don't see that, had quite a bit of contamination on there. So again, that doesn't look too bad at all. So there's the wheel and tire. Again, for just a kind of a pre-wash, does pretty good. That's kind of impressive how much cleaning power that's got. Now we go with the Garage Therapy section here. Again, trim looks nice. It looks like it cleaned that up really well. And looking on these areas, paint wise, yeah, again, that doesn't look too bad. Again, I just did a blow dry, so there's still some water beads and stuff on there. So, but yeah, as far as kind of comparing the two, that looks pretty close. I mean, that's not too bad from one to the next. You see a little bit of right in there where, but again, we're not looking at getting 100%. This is just a good pre-wash. Again, this is knocking off anything that makes it a safe for contact wash. So the Primus 2.0 Labocosmetica, again, that was a different kind of, it stuck to that rear window more than the front. I don't know, rinsed off pretty good. Just different. Paint wise, again, that looks pretty good. I don't see, I can see why people really like that one. And you can still get some of the traces of that, road film where it had blown out of the cracks and stuff. And then on those as far as Luminus, the L-Prewash. Take a look. I mean, looks like it did pretty good on the glass. Definitely can see, you know, it didn't touch that as good. There is more noticeable road film back here. I know that, you know, it was a little heavier contamination, but I would have expected it to do a little better than this. So that part I'm not, we'll see what happens here with this fender, or this mud flap, sorry. That's kind of got some discoloration there, so I don't know if that's, see what happens here. As far as wheel and tire in the rear, definitely not, you know, not on the same level as Chem-X for that, but again, the focus on this is really how well is it cleaning the paint. So, you know, looking at these overall, I mean, definitely, you know, Chem-X, a little different system. You got the high and low pH. So I think there's something to be said there. It does look like, I mean, I would kind of give the lead to that one. So what I'm going to do on the other side, once we turn this around, I'll just reverse it. So that way, Chem-X kind of has the larger section, and then, you know, well, they'll just basically be reversed. So, but yeah, garage therapy, again, you know, it, you know, definitely seemed to clean the paint well. There's just some minor areas, so again, you know, if we kind of, it's just some of these areas here, but man, it's got a nice feel to it. Then you come with Labocosmetica. I mean, again, it's got a little bit. I mean, you can kind of see that, you know, where I drag my finger across. It's got a coated vehicle here, so I know people might freak out. Hey, you're touching the paint. Yeah, I'm touching the paint. And it's, a lot of it is to demonstrate what's left on there so you can get an idea. So, doing it for you guys, man. Just making the sacrifice of touching paint with a bare finger. It's all going to be okay. It really is. Far worse things are happening to that paint than that. So, and you can see these were those kind of water stains where it. Again, a contact wash is going to take all that off. But again, the goal is which one of these actually did the best for cleaning. And, you know, it's hard to even find a spot that has road film there. So if I was going to rate them, I would say, you know, right now it looks like Chem-X is in the lead. Garage therapy is right on its heels. I mean, that looks really, really nice. I'm impressed. That is one that I hadn't used yet, so that's cool to see. Labocosmetica, not bad. Again, you know, kind of put that in third place. And Luminus, the L-Prewash, to me that's lagging behind. It's just not quite at that same level. So we'll, let me turn the vehicle around. We'll do some double tap. So again, Chem-X now. We're doing this larger section, which, you know, had that kind of the heavier contamination. So see how it does. Then again, garage therapy on that next panel here. And so what we'll do is do a pre-spray, and then following that up, foaming on top with the, you know, same mix we used on the other side. And then same method for Labocosmetica and also for Luminus on the front there. So let's get started here. I'm going to go ahead and go in the opposite order as well, so that way, you know, they get a little more time for dwelling, kind of, you know, maybe help with keeping things fair that way. So I got Luminus loaded here. And so what we'll do is take for the double tap, spray the area with this dilution, and then foam over the top of it. Okay, and we'll foam right over the top of that. Swap out containers here. Do a rinse. And yeah, double check. I want to make sure I actually hit record, because that would suck. So same thing with Labocosmetica. Get that bottle loaded. So I hope you can see how easy you can have pre-mix with different soaps. And again, any of these foam cannons that have that smaller inner thread. Again, this is the Talking with Cars one that Rob Caputo sells, which has been treating me quite well. I like it a lot. I bought that from him a lot of it was due to having that thread, because I also like to do a lot of metering type systems. Okay, so there's Primus 2.0, again with the double tap. Do a rinse. Garage Therapy loaded. And spray, pre-spray for that one. And we'll foam on. Let's unload that bottle. And finally, on the last, do stars and stripes. So again, we're mounting stars on there first and doing foaming that on. And just unscrew that bottle. Just taking one. I've just got one of water that I put in. Let's just run it through to clean it out. Then I mount the next bottle, which is Stripes. And you'll see how Stars is a little thicker and Stripes is a little runnier. Just the alkaline versus the acidic. Definitely see how that pulls down and runs right off. Okay, so everything's foamed on again. Let that dwell. Ready for a rinse. So just like last time, I didn't really do befores, but it basically looks just like the other side. So you get the idea. Let's see here. Go ahead and look at so again with Luminus. Some great stuff being pulled off there. And we better get to rinsing soon on that one. And here's Labocosmetica. You can see it's doing something real similar to the first side, pulling everything down really well. It is interesting how compared with Garage Therapy, with the windows, it did the same kind of thing. The Labo kind of stuck to the window more, or Garage Therapy kind of pulled down more. So just curious how that works. But yeah, you can see it really worked well. And look at the browning on the tire even from the Garage Therapy. But again, the mix we're at is similar to what they use for the tire cleaning as well. Get back on the tripod here and let's start rinsing. You can see, again, all the stuff that is pulled off, which is always a good thing to see. So all that is not getting in your wash mitt. So here's Luminus on this front end now. We can blow dry it and we get a better idea what it looks like dry. But again, just doing a quick walk through with doing double tap. It sure seems like the double tap does do a little better. So again, Chem-X on the rear part. So yeah, let's blow this off. I'm sure I'll need to get a battery on this one because it was about dead. So hold on. Here we go. We started with Luminus up here. And you can see, kind of comparing with the other side of the vehicle with Chem-X. It had removed all of this. It still has that kind of that traffic film on there. And you can see on here. Wheel and tire. Again, that's not really our focus, so sorry, didn't mean to distract you. Move over to the Labocosmetica Primus 2.0. And again, this is one of the areas that a little bit here, but again, this is definitely good, clean paint. I mean, I really don't just find a little bit, but I mean, it's not bad. You even get down here in this lower sections, you can see how, it's really pretty darn clean. You go to that same lower section up here, with Luminus, and this doesn't quite cut it like this. Like the Primus 2.0, I'd say, is really fine job. And again, garage therapy. Yeah, I think it's even probably a step above. Again, I got this little bit of, that would be taken off in, contact wash, but it's no different than what we saw on the other side. So again, the lower sections here, there's just, really looks good. So now, we'll see how Chem-X did. Because definitely it was more challenging in this back section. You can already, let's see, I guess that was still somewhere in here. That was kind of our transition point. So, but yeah, so somewhere in here, we'll look and see. So if we kind of look at, you can see a little bit. See how there's, kind of hard to detect. I don't know if you're gonna, there. Yeah, there you can see that X that I drew there. So again, yeah, that's a little tougher. You get a little heavier contamination, and it's definitely a tougher, really challenges the chemicals. Now, just as a, I know I didn't draw anything off, but as a quick comparison, I just rinsed this. And again, this would have had a lot more contamination just from, but you can see how, yeah, definitely rinsing a vehicle without any sort of chemical is not, yeah, it's actually kind of got a grit on it. That's, yeah, probably not good to touch that one. So, but hey, as far as what this is looking like, yeah, Chem-X does great. Again, it's kind of a little different process, but again, garage therapy is, I mean, it really rose to the challenge for sure. So again, if I was going to rate them, I still would say, Chem-X does a great job, but really, the other side, it was almost kind of a tie, because they were, the contamination level wasn't quite the same and stuff. But in this case, I'd say garage therapy is got the lead here. So again, just a great way to compare, 4 different approaches here. Definitely Chem-X has a different system. So with the high and low pH, in kind of one doing foaming one on, the next one kind of gives it that shock, and it does a great job cleaning. So overall, let's see, I'd say again, garage therapy, thoroughly impressed. I hadn't used foam Decon, and it really worked awesome. So as far as and it worked great. So again, this side was doing that double tap method. I saw a little, marginal improvement, but really just foaming it on, they had the same results really for the comparison between the 3, or all 4 of them. But yeah, I'd say garage therapy is probably the top as far as a pre-wash, and again, I would just lean towards foaming it on. And then Chem-X is really the next one that I really, and again, in certain circumstances that might switch, but yeah, those 2 are the tops. And then Primus 2.0 is right behind that one. Again, good clean paint, and very impressive there. Luminus, the L-Prewash, unfortunately that one's kind of at the bottom of the list. So with these 4, I know this is something that Conway had mentioned in the, in some of the, some of the communications. He was like, hey, I'd like to see this matchup of these pre-washes. And it's like, hey, that's pretty cool. And it's kind of neat how it worked out to be a worldwide comparison. So, well, hey, thanks for watching. I sure appreciate, you guys, when you drop comments, and it's great to interact and get other ideas. And it's just fun to show, be able to demonstrate some of these things, and I just enjoy doing it. So again, hope you enjoy watching. Be sure to like the video. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe to my channel and stuff. And I've got it's usually all detailed kind of stuff, but quite a variety of different products. And again, there's certain things that I really dig in. The Yum line still. Real efficient there, and now with garage therapy, definitely would like to try some more of that. So interesting how kind of dip your toe in one product, and then you go, wow, that's pretty good results. So hey, I appreciate it. So hey, again, thank you much, and have a great day. Happy detailing. Thank you for watching. Again, you want to hit the subscribe, and it's always great to hit the notification to get all the new videos. And be sure and like it. If you like what you see, hit the like. And it's great getting comments, so feel free to, like I say, or drop a question. or any sort of comment you have. I read them and respond to most all of them. So, hey, have a great day. Thanks.